Hello everyone, my name is Moon and welcome to Umineko When They Cry, Confessions of the Golden Witch. So we recently finished episode 7 of the main story and yeah, I really liked it. And a lot of stuff were pretty much revealed already, right? But people said that this one in particular is a nice read before going into episode 8 as this gives a much more clear, insight on the lives of, let's say, Shannon, Cannon, Beatrice, Claire, Sayo, all those different, personalities, people, and I want to learn more of them, is what I'm saying, right? So, yes, let us begin. Let's go. Confession of the Golden Witch. Let us begin. I pray that this letter in a bottle never crosses another person's sight. If you are reading this, now deliver unto me the punishment I deserve. Okay, let's see this. This island is under a curse. An island of many irredeemable souls, corpses, and sins. Rokinjima, the witch's island. And in accordance with that witch's name, my life too is under a curse. Honestly, I'm getting excited for this one. I was raised in an orphanage and started working for the Oshiromiya family as a servant from a young age. There were many other servants from the same orphanage there, but I was by far the youngest and was picked on for comparative lack of ability. So when you compare her to the other maids, right? Like, look at the half their age. She's very, very tiny. It was unavoidable. We were too far apart in age. I knew we couldn't be friends and I didn't want to bother trying. And instead, I guess she created her friends here. Beatrice the witch. Blonde hair, hides and moves things. A dress as red as blood, Beato's friend. So her first design, for Beatrice is Gaap. Yeah, Gaap is that one, right? And then the other one, Beatrice the Witch, is basically the design for Claire. I interacted with imaginary friends of my own making. So the other one, the Claire one, is a proud witch wearing white, gets burned when she touches spider. What is spider's thread, right? There is a cutoff there. When I paid attention to them, they were at my side in an instant. They laughed and cavorted to make things lively, sometimes causing trouble, sometimes consoling me. They were irreplaceable friends. I had nothing to fear from a night alone. I still had company. Damn, it's kind of sad. Yeah. Hopefully, Barune-san will work harder now. Also, this one was in episode 7, yes. I took one of the keys and slipped it into Barune-san's locker, then switched my ring with hers when she left them lying around. And then you see, Barune. What's happening? My master key is gone. Was that going overboard? And she's just playing with him. Whatever do you mean? I was just borrowing your body to teach Barune a mildly painful lesson. Now she will learn her place and fear me like she should. So I guess she's using her imaginary friends as to say that she was not the one who did the prank, right? Said, oh, it's my friends that did that. It was not me. They were just using my body, right? Then we have this. Yes, it's Barune-san's fault for not taking the job seriously. I just had the witch give her a bit of punishment for her actions. That's all this is. So who said this? Oh my, you're still awake. That's Kumasawa-san. You got an early morning tomorrow, so off to bed now. Oh, Kumasawa-san, thank you for your help earlier. With his lordship's vase. Oh, don't be that silly. That was just the cat's doing, right? So this one was in, was it the 3rd episode, right? I was kind of confused while I was reading that and doing some of my theories back then. Like, who could this be? But then, yeah, it is actually Sayo. She was the princess back then. Or when they were telling that story, I mean. The veteran Kumasawa-san, the head servant Genji-sama, and even his lordship, friend and occasional visitor, Dr. Nanjo. So Kumasawa-san is telling her, let me tell you a magic spell to fall right to sleep. Thank you, Kumasawa-san. Your magic works so well. We're all very nice to me for some reason. Some days I was scolded quite firmly, but they were on my side. Genji-sama, who strictly taught how a servant should behave, and Kumasawa-san, who fussed over my needs. They were almost like grandparents to me. I didn't have anyone else. Will you hear me out? I found a dream to pursue. I want a family. Damn, that was her dream. Simple dream. She wants a family. I want to fall in love, get married, have kids, and create a real family. Well, what a perfectly puny human dream that is. As a witch, I can't begin to guess what's so good about it. And eventually I did fall in love. Then this is Butler when Butler first arrived. Hey, a long time no see. And then I guess they're having their conversations here. You're not like the tomboy Jessica. You get cuter every time I see you, Shannon Chan. Read any new mystery novels lately? This was the best I've found. Thank you. Recently, I read all of Agatha Christie's books. I mean, I guess when you're in an island like that, you don't really do anything that much, right? You read all the books. He was a son of an Ushinomiya branch family. He was good looking. He was a bit of a show-off, but he wasn't full of himself. He also had the same hobby that I did, and each time he visited the island for the family meetings, he talked with me for hours. So this is what connected the both of them. I guess the mystery novels. I didn't have any friends my age, so I suppose it was inevitable that I would grow infatuated with a boy like him. When I was around him, I forgot all of the daily toil and pain. I dream of having more time to spend around him. And it seemed to me that he was more than a little attracted to me too. Okay. My type. So I guess who asked this? Shannon? Yasu was the one who asked this? I'm surprisingly uncomfortable around real domestic girls. I mean, you know how crude I am, right? So I'd like someone I can be myself around with without worrying about it, like Jessica. And if she got blonde hair and big boobs, even better. Blonde and big boobs. So maybe, yeah, I guess this is the last time that they saw each other, correct? And I guess you can see in, was it the first and second episode, the way Butler was acting there, right? It was kind of like this. And then the other episodes, it was much more different, a different Butler. So I guess they can say the basis for the Butler that we see in episode 1 for sure, episode 2 probably, right? But yeah. This kind of Butler, I mean. That's why in episode 1 he was like always trying to, attempt to touch someone. Yeah. If the time comes that you quit your job in service, then come with me. When the day comes, I'll ride up on a white horse to get you. And then we see Saya right there. She got whooshed, her heart beating. Does that mean you'll be my Prince Charming on horseback? You'll come and spirit me away from this island? Oh, how happy I could be if I lived with you. I wish I could be your wife. If I were with you, I know that dream would come true. Look at her face. She was so hopeful. I'll do my best to become the ideal girl that you envision. As I wait for you, or for that day you coming to take me away, I will wait forever. But yeah, he didn't come back, I guess, after this. He came back years later and he forgot about it. We made a promise to meet in the same place 1 year later and parted ways. So you got some panels here. I have to be rougher like Miss Jessica. Like this. Hey Butler, been a while. I can call him by name like that. And then she's blushing, right? She's shy. The secret to a bigger bust. Push them together, have a cleavage. When we meet again, we would know it if it was for real or not. Then yeah. Time came, I guess, or years passed, but I waited and he never came back. I heard Butler-sama renounce the Ushinomiya name. Well, they say Asumu-sama's husband was cheating on her while she was still alive. I leave the family too. But Rudolph-sama's always been a womanizer. Didn't he sweep you off your feet once too, Hamachi? And then yeah, she's very hopeful still. You can see her growing though. He'll come back. He will come next year. And then 1982... 83, the next year, and the next year, and then he doesn't come back. So I guess now we have a panel here on school. Oh, Yasuda-san. Sorry, do you have a tampon I could use? I'm sorry. I still haven't. Okay, sorry. As I waited helpless for his return, I began to feel uneasy about my own body. Still no period. All the other girls have had them by now. So I guess this is one of the things that's messing her up. I mean, like, yeah, she doesn't know what she is. Like all the other girls and normal girls her age, yeah, we're experiencing what teenagers experience, but for her, nothing, right? Oh my god. She has those, what do you call that again? The cups. Because I guess she wasn't growing anything. And she has been putting that there so it would show that she was growing a little. He said that he prefers a woman with large breasts. Why aren't mine growing at all? Why am I the only one without a period? Is there something wrong with my body? When you're a teenager like that, and then you can't even tell this to anyone, right? Because who does she have? She only has herself, basically. Like, sure, Kumasawa-san, like Genji's like a grandfather and grandmother to her, but literally she can't tell this to anyone. She can't talk about it, about this to anyone, and it's messing her up. You're still just in middle school. They say that the slower girls to receive their moon blood may not start until high school. And then I guess her imaginary friends are giving her hope that it's okay. Maybe you're just delayed, right? It may happen later. Yeah, just giving her hope that it might happen later. We'll see. And then we have this. With my magic, your breasts soon will be lush and voluptuous. By the time Butler returns, they will be as plump and heavy as a ripened fruit. What is it about the maiden's mind that worries so much about trifling matters? What a bother it is. I agree. Exactly. You are worrying for nothing. I am, aren't I, Beatrice-sama? I hate mirrors. They show me as I truly am. Damn. They rob my dreams from me. Is this me? With the flat boyish body and a tired face? Abandoned by the one I pine for? Without any real friends or family to confide in, gloomingly talking to herself in a darkened room, living on sheer lies. What a shabby specimen. Butler-san, why won't you come back to me? Come back and save me. Take me away from this island, from this fate. What did that promise even mean to you? Was I reading something into it that you never meant? Please, do I have no other option than to live alone and be miserable? It's kinda sad, like seeing it, how to say this, front and center. Because when we were doing episode 7, yes, a lot of stuff were revealed, but it was not really like this, right? It like there's stuff that is still hidden, and now they're showing it to us, and then you can see the despair of this person, of Sayo, of Yasu. I wanna die. If I could forget you, my past, and a different life, another. Oh, I guess this is when Kanon was born. A life as a boy, perhaps. This is Kanon, our newest servant. At the mansion, I expect you to treat him well, everyone. So she became so depressed. She created, this other persona, Kanon, to forget everything, right? After that, I began acting as Kanon. I thought that I found happiness living as a boy. I could eventually phase out my old life as Shannon. It couldn't happen at once, of course. I split my time between Shannon and Kanon. Kumasawa and San and Genji-sama treated it as an extension of my make-believe and played along. They helped cover for my stories and adjusted my work shifts. It's so strange to have a boy servant here too. Want to eat lunch with me? So Kumasawa and Genji, I guess, knowing who she is, they played along with her. And then you can see how Kanon was different, right? The personality is literally quite the opposite. Food tastes worse when it's noisy around. He was silent and he was very cold. I was sure that's how boys were, and insulting when he spoke. And then yes, Kanon acted the opposite of Shannon. I stayed out of the way of people. Only 2 or 3 servants walked regularly at the island with the help of the older servants. No one would figure out my secret if I played my cards right. This strategy of mine paid off in unexpected ways. Kanon-kun got to exercise my daily gripes, the which within me lived out my mischief, romantic feelings, and when I was myself, I could actually smile and be happy. So we have this panel here. This is with Kinzo, I guess. Oh no, we must cool off the skin. Shannon, remove your sock. Oh, so this is, I guess, when Kinzo noticed her. You saw that you saw the leg, right? Or the foot, like it has a scar on it because Kinzo has what do you call that again? I forgot. Was it polydactyly? Something like that. Basically an extra toe, and you saw on that foot, it was gone. It was removed. That's why there was a big scar there. He was going to yell at me, "My lord, I must ask to borrow your washroom." And then he said, "Go ahead." And then this is Genji, I guess. I apologize for that appalling display. I will have another dish brought at once. Genji, you hat, did you? No, never mind. I mean, that is when he noticed, I guess, then that was a baby, right? Because they didn't really, I guess it was never shown to Kinzo right? When the baby fell back then, and then I guess Genji was just said that he will take care of it. So now Shannon, Kinzo seeing her feet like that or her foot like that, then he noticed that yeah, that might be my kid. Actually didn't die, but survived. I said, would you like to attempt shooting at the target? Even his lordship's daughters were never allowed to touch his guns. Isn't that wonderful, Shannon-chan? Why don't you take him up on his offer and try it out? Yes, sir. So we can now say again that Shannon is, I guess, a really good marksman because of this. Because maybe, yeah, Kinzo has been teaching her how to shoot guns. No wonder the resemblance. To think that an opportunity for atonement would arise at this late hour. The vagaries of heaven. Then yes, I guess he noticed. He finally realized. Earlier it was kind of like when he said Genji rat, and it was like, no, probably no. And then now he realized it then. Yes, my kid is back. This was the happiest time of my life. What is this? Scene with Jessica? Magazines, blood type, horoscope, find your luck in love, cosmetics, specials, hot makeup. I grew closer to Miss Jessica. And then Maria here. And I rapidly became good friends with Maria-sama too. We expanded our respective worlds together until we shared them and orchestrated our own world just for us. And then I found new love with George-sama. At first, I was hesitant to forget about the one I pined for, and I did feel guilty that I was simply trying to replace another with him. But my time with him was gentle and kind, and I loved that he treated me like a girl. Best of all, when he spoke of his ideal family, it overlapped with my own ideal. I found myself growing closer and closer to him. Perhaps it was just my figure that was destined to never fill out in that way, but even if it did come late, I was sure I could still eventually have children, and then I could build my future with George-san. Even though there was no possibility that I could have a happy future. November 29, 1984. So the portrait of Beatrice. With the help of Genji-sama's hint, I began to tackle the epitaph riddle out of curiosity. Given my experience reading mystery novels, I knew it could be solved and that I could solve it. At the time, I had no idea what the act of solving the epitaph would do to me. So we see quadrillion right there, and then yes, Genji giving her hints to solve said epitaph, right? So pretty much let's say guiding her to solve it until eventually. And then there, on the 10th night, the journey will end and you shall reach the capital. I ended up prying open the lid to Pandora's box. That was my own fate. I mean, Pandora's box, right? That's a nice term for, I would say, for her. If she didn't know about her, I guess her whole history, yeah, it would be a very, very different story. It would not end up like what's happening in the main story, right? It is literally a Pandora's box. She opened it and all, I guess, the evils, I would say, came out. Then she got dressed as Beatrice. Forgive me, Beatrice. But Kinzo was calling her Leon though. Just once call me father. But at this moment, yes, she's confused, like, father? Like, what? Why father? Right? Why? My real name is Ushiromiya, or Leon Ushiromiya. I regret nothing in life. My father is Kinzo Ushiromiya. My mother was Beatrice, who was held captive at Kuadorian. Damn. And then Kinzo, he has passed. I believe that meeting you at the end gave him an opportunity to atone. So that's what happened. He said sorry, and then I guess he died. He had a heart attack afterwards. And then Sayo, or Yasu, sorry. And then Kinzo died, and then she became the master of Rokinjima. You have the right to know all of this island's secret. You may ask us for anything. So you all knew that I was his lordship's child and that Beatrice was my mother. She was Kinzo's daughter and my older sister. Imagine hearing that, right? Damn. What does that even mean? I don't understand. Are you saying his lordship deeply regretted his mistake, channeling his love for the late Beatrice into the wrong person? He regretted the tragic fate that he saddled you, the fruit of the union, with. So you see, all of the emotions or all of the, I guess, different thoughts suddenly just went into her head. Like, wait a minute, Kurao-sama and the others are my elder siblings, meaning I am Kinzo Ujinomiya's final child, the child of his lover. Miss and her cousins are also my cousins and my nieces and nephews. No marriage between second cousins. I have more of Kinzo Ushiromiya's blood than anyone. Imagine that, right? Meaning, I should never have been born. Wait a moment. After your mother's death, Kinzo-san wanted to bring you into the family as a foster child, but Natsuhi's driven neurotic by her years of difficulty of having birth, pushed the servant who carried you off the edge of a cliff. Don't tell me anymore. Nothing good can come out of it. But you were very lucky. It seemed to me nothing short of a miracle. But yeah, the way Nanjo, or the way they're showing Nanjo in these panels or the drawings, is like very scary. He suffered major lacerations on your lower abdomen, but you miraculously survived your injuries. Dr. Nanjo did everything within his power to save your life. And then I guess, yes, all of her, this thinking or her questioning, like, why am I like this, right? Why don't I have my period yet? Why can I grow, let's say, like womanly or lady features? It's because of that. She's gotten her answers. We were unable to save your poor mother's life, so we pray that you would live. We hope that even if you could not bear children, and then he says this, you could not bear children, that was her, I guess, remember earlier? When she was talking about George, that even though her looks is really not, let's say, feminine, I guess. I mean, her look is kind of feminine, but you know what I mean, like much more, let's say, voluptuous and stuff like that. She could at least give birth, right? But now Dr. Nanjo is saying this, is like, yeah, you could not bear any children. You would still be able to live a happy life. That was her dream, and then it got cut off again. And then we just see her there. A very small Yasu in a very big room. Lies. You lie. These are lies. I'm just Sayo Yasuda, the orphan. I'm not this Leon you speak of. You have it wrong. I am not that person. It is not me. Can't be me. Leon? Leon-san? No, you're indeed Leon-sama. Then can you prove it? Do you have some evidence that I am Leon? And then Genji says, I do. So let me guess. This evidence is the foot. Remember the foot earlier? That is the evidence. Genji's gonna say. Your feet bear that surgical scars from polydactyly exertose. That is the proof of those who most deeply share his lordship's blood. There you go. That is the evidence. The lack of follow-up care after the surgery left you with scarring. No, but I mean, why didn't you let me die? So I guess the reason for them, obviously, is they didn't want her to die is because they failed Quadorian Beatrice, right? I think, Nanjo, Kumasawa, Genji, I mean especially Genji, they failed her. They know they failed her, so at least they can repent by saving this child. And then of course, this is normal. She's getting angry. I didn't want to live with this body incapable of knowing love. This body is not a human. It is furniture. There we go. Furniture. The word furniture has been thrown out now. And then we see her dreams, I guess, here. I want to have children. It's a lie that I can't have children. That was her dream. Having a family. Very simple dream, but it's not possible anymore. It's a lie that I'm the child of adultery. It's a lie that we're related. Imagine the people you loved, not love as in like normal love, like love were actually people that is related to you, right? Not just that, cousins, nieces, nephew, and then I guess your bosses, right? Not boss, I guess, was your siblings, Kraus, right? All of them. Jesus. In a very short amount of time, all this information, it would hurt. It's a lie that I can be happy with a person I love. I'm certain that from that moment I was born, I never had a chance to lead a life of happiness. So I guess it is like Act 1 of the Confession of the Golden Witch. It was sad, really. Like in a span of a couple years, right? We see from the beginning that she was just a happy only child. And then yeah, it slowly went downhill after that promise with Butler, little by little. And then as of course, as she was growing up and her body was not changing, while the people around her were changing, yeah, it was very, very sad. From happy to sad, like real quick, right? So here we are, part 2 or act 2 I guess. Happiness will never come to a human being charmed by a witch. Don't you know that furniture? So yeah, I guess the manifestation of Beatrice is now coming out, and now it's saying that yeah, Shannon is furniture. Your tears are my pre-dinner aperitif. Your romantic anguish, a glorious hors d'oeuvre. How do you say that? Sorry if I say that wrong. Begone, foul witch, stay away from Nathan. And then Shannon is also, Canon is also saying now, Nathan, we are furniture. Human and furnitures cannot fall in love. You gotta tell George Sama as much. You mustn't try to get any closer to people. As furniture, you have a furniture's life to uphold. Canon-kun, but then it's time for work. It's time for my shift. They gotta change now. So what is this? One shall be the resurrection of the souls of all the dead. One shall be the resurrection of a love lost. One shall be the witch put into eternal sleep. It's so simple. If I return the mechanisms to normal, I can simply hide the gold I found. She shall bestow 4 treasures. What a joke. Yeah, I gained that gold at the cost of everything. I mean, that is true though. She became rich. She became the master Rokinjima, but technically by learning about who she is or her history, she lost everything. I lived the same as I had before the incident, solving the epitaph, inheriting the family command, even the story of my birth. I kept secret from all. I ordered Genji-san and the others to interact with me the same way as before. I was afraid to reveal the truth. It felt like admitting it out loud would only make my miserable disgrace more real. It meant that I always felt plagued by guilt for not telling my lover the truth. No amount of gold could save me from my accursed fate. It was merely a source of pressure, compacting me, forcing me further inward. His lordship's death was neatly and easily covered up by the group, as though the witch inside of me simply cast a spell to make that happen. And then we see Natsuhi right there, and even Kraus. They're talking about what they're gonna do. Kraus-sama has a phenomenal amount of debt. Because of that, they claimed they needed to put off the matter of distributing the inheritance. Haughty woman. She claims to be protecting the family honor, but she just wants to uphold the status quo. She's the worst. She's completely destroyed any chance to properly mourn and honor the patriarch she claims to love and respect. The day continued as they had done. It's just what Kinzo deserves for violating me. Natsuhi-san pushed you over the cliff. So yeah, Beatrice there, reminding her of all the things of her history. Even though the rest of my world had gone upside down since that day, is it me or has the smell around Granddad's study been extra weird lately? I wonder what he's researching in there. So yeah, Jessica, like it's smelling now, right? It really, I mean, the body of Kinzo, it really is smelling. He seems to be even more withdrawn than usual lately. His mood is foul. It is foul much of the time, so I think it's probably the best for you not to attempt to visit him in his study. I'll need to ask Genji-sama about checking the freezer and adding more preservatives. Then we have Genji and Shannon here. I suppose so. I shall have to discuss purchasing a new freezer with the madam. Genji-sama, why are there so many skeletons underground? Also, she also saw that now. Rokinjima was once a Japanese military base. The first Beatrice-sama arrived here on an Italian submarine. The sailors with her and the Japanese soldier stationed here had a terrible battle, I was told. The bones were gathered into one room. They were piled on top of one another in a mess, not organized into bodies, just bones wearing Italian and Japanese uniforms, all thrown together like trash at a garbage dump. Why did his lordship abandon his comrades like that without honoring their deaths? Why did he hide them by building this mansion over where they died? He didn't even bury them, like even his own comrades, the Japanese soldiers, right? He just shoved them all in one room and then yeah, left them there until they were just bones. Because he killed him, didn't he? To have Beatrice and the gold to himself. I mean, the story with Kinzo in episode 7, the way it was being told. Yeah, I mean, you could say it was kind of being biased, right? As, what do you call this? More in favor to Kinzo because he was the one telling the story. But then we saw also the part where at the end of the episode when it was being a little bit different, right? Did he kill them and then move them there, or did he? My body has this accursed blood running in its veins around this time, so she's realizing that yeah, her blood is from a murderer that killed a lot of people. Hey Shannon, what's up with you and George, Nissan? The last time you came into the island, looked like you two were getting along pretty well. Did you go on a date or something? Shannon, yeah, she's blushing. No, we're not really going out. We just came along on my shopping errand. It wasn't a date. And then Jessica being a teenager. Shut the hell up. That's totally a date. Are you going to say you two aren't going out? He's your boyfriend, right? Admit it. You're his girlfriend. It's nothing as serious as a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Really? No skipping ahead then. We have to get boyfriends at the same time. And then Shannon is getting flustered. And then Jessica being a teenager. Listen, Shannon-chan, yes. You know how there's that servant boy Kanan-kun? Are you friends with him? Do you think Kanan-kun has a girlfriend? I mean, for Jessica, because yeah, she's on the island, right? And the only, I guess, boy that is the same age as her is Kanon, so she was interested. I felt dizzy. That canon amalgamation of all the ugly parts of me, the representation of my life as a boy and new possibilities, should actually be the target of someone else's affection. Then we have Shannon asking her, Mistress, have you ever spoken to him? Only a little bit, but it always seems like he doesn't have the time for me or time of day for me. Kanon-kun's always like looking sadly into the distance. It makes me wonder about him. I don't mean that I like him or anything, but I feel like if I could really talk to him, I might be able to help him enjoy life a little bit better. I felt as though I had been given permission to leave or live, while at the same time, I silently shivered with a thrill of horror. Imagine that all the emotions that's been rushing through, right? Started with Butler, at least the loved one, Started with Butler, and then he was gone, he didn't return. Went to George, and then she learned about her history, and now Jessica is saying this, right? For that canon personality, like, damn. At my Ishinomiya genes borrowing deeper and deeper within me. At Kinzo's blood within my veins, happy about the affection bestowed upon me. The only people who need me are my own blood relatives. Oh my god, Jesus. The only people that loves her, or yeah, like love her, is people that are related to her. How messed up is that? I don't think that Kanan-kun has a girlfriend. All he does is spend time alone. I'm sure he will be happy to hear from me. Time passed and I wasn't able to speak my truth to either of them. Their attraction to me only grew deeper by the day. So this is when Jessica gave Kanon this mixtape, Pick Me Up songs. And then George here. When I'm with you, I always find that I'm learning new emotions. You sent a gentle breeze through my heart. Shannon, I'm so glad I met you. Can you see coming from someone who rejected everything they represented? Thank you for being born. How much bliss I experienced at being able to feel that I was loved, that it was okay for me to live. I didn't mean to make you cry, and this feeling rattled my determination to tell them the truth. So when the idea of going on an overnight vacation came up, I was a little bit relieved. I was sure that even weak-willed me would find a way to broach the topic. If George-san really loved me, I hope he would be able to accept me even after learning the truth. Sadly, I didn't find the resolution in the moment. Instead, he raised the topic of the possible betrothal. What should I do? I can't lie to him anymore. I have to tell George-san the truth, but she did not say it, right? I'm sure that George-san will accept me. Don't waste your time with that daydreams of furniture. Then yeah, the Beatrice personality there, telling her, reminding her of her, her past, her history. Love is about sexual desires. Its worth can only be measured by bodies sharing physical passion. George will be so disappointed when he learns about your birth and about your body. You cannot make George's dream come true. What makes you worthy of him? It is sinful for you to even imagine being together with George. Then I guess this is what George said. I hope to have a long future with you, surrounded by our children and grandchildren. But that's not gonna happen. But George's son is such a faithful man. His love for me wouldn't be broken by. And then this Beatrice, she got angry. You dare claim then? If George is honest and faithful, then his love for you will fade when he realizes you betrayed and lied to him in order to leech affection that you did not deserve. There are plenty who can take your place. He has no reason to choose you above all of them. But I wanted to be loved. I wanted to love someone, and it just so happened to be George's son. Is it a sin even to hope that I could experience a love with George's son? You want to be with the son of your own sister? You have the reason to hate Kinzo's deeds most of all, yet you are determined to repeat them. What will you do? Hide the truth and stay with George, knowing the absolute ravaging despair that awaits you in the future? No one will allow the inheritor of the company to choose a life partner whose background is a complete mystery. And if your identity is known, then even George might be cast out from the family for his grievous decision. But yeah, imagine that, right? Her background is obviously a very big mystery. They don't really know who, let's say, Shannon is, right? Who Cannon is. But yeah, in reality, she is Kinzo's daughter. I'm sorry if I say daughter all the time, but yeah, because of how Yasu is presented as Shannon all the time as a girl, so I'll just say daughter. And they didn't even say the gender though, right? Dr. Nanja didn't even say earlier. He didn't say anything about that. He just said that your organs, I guess, from the abdomen down was damaged so much. So we don't really know. But maybe you can say male, say female, whatever. I'll just go with daughter because that is how she was presented and how she was what is the word for that? How she grew up or how she was raised, right? As a girl, I mean. And that's that. Plus, you have not placed your entire soul into this bet. How can you have the right to love George and I? Here comes the other personality, Kanon. I love Miss Jessica too. I was so sad to have rejected her that day. It hurt me so much to hurt her. It felt like I was rejecting myself for being worthy of her affection. She is as bright as the sun to me and she lights up my life. If I could be with her, I might be able to live with my eyes looking directly forward for once. But Miss Jessica isn't just some fallback for George-sama. I want to experience love too. You're probably thinking that if George-sama rejects you, you still got Jessica-sama to fall back on. Damn. They're fighting. They're fighting for each other's, what do you call this? For each other's love. Fighting in her head, I mean. Jessica, an oblivious fool, unaware of her own family's nature. Then you should go and name yourself Golden Witch. With your gold, you could solve all of this family financial troubles. Do you think so? It is not nearly so simple. If I reveal myself, those greedy rats will become obsessed and begin to squabble, and only ruin will await you and Kanon. Imagine that, right? I mean, we saw that in episode 7, right? She revealed herself, right? The Golden Witch, but she didn't say who she actually is, and they were actually fighting already at the moment. Imagine if she said that, oh, I am Kinzo's daughter from his daughter. So basically, we are siblings. If she said that, I mean, probably it would still end the same way because of the amount of money there, right? But yeah, they would still be fighting, for sure. It is the cursed blood of the Oshinomiya that has trapped you here. Your blood and you, yourself. If you do not choose something, you will never escape your suffering. Choose, even though suffering is a consequence of any choice I can make. I was in the hardest place of hard places. I had to choose what I wanted to do with myself before the day of the family meeting when George's son would be bringing his ring. It was clear that my life would change forever on that day. So we got the love trials because of that. Yes, like the different characters for George, for Jessica, and then for Butler as well. All that. I will tell George-san everything. I'm certain that he will accept me. Then I'll leave the island and discard the Kanonmi and Beato-mi and live the Sayo, a life in which I am desired for being Sayo. I probably won't find typical happiness that George's son desires, but I won't ask for much. So what is this, George? If there is true love between us, I am certain that we can be happy. And then George is saying, stay away from me. You make me sick. You were lying to me all this time. Did you really think that someone like you could marry me? That's horrifying. Don't ever let me see you again. Yeah, this is not real, right? This is probably inside her head, like thinking that, or what might happen if she said it to George. My true self had never been accepted by anyone. It was impossible for me to imagine a happy future. George Sean isn't like that. He's not like that. If I could avoid telling him the truth forever, then my happiness with him would last just as long. But yeah, I actually want to see though. What if let's say Sayo actually or Yasu said it to George? I wonder what his reaction would really be. Like the real reaction. George-san, you would accept me for who I am, wouldn't you? I believe in you, so please. Despite the nightmares that plagued me, the day drew closer and closer. That is all for the fine details, and now as for... She was daydreaming as Natsuhi is here. Shannon, are you listening? I'm sorry, madam. I assigned you to clean the entry hall. The family meeting is close at hand. It must be done thoroughly and properly, as I said earlier. Butler-kun will be joining the family reunion for the first time in the 6 years. He must begin the preparations now, so as to avoid giving offense on the day of the arrival. Damn. So Natsuhi says this. She was already conflicted because, the Kanon-kun situation, Beato, George, Jessica, and now Butler is coming back into the mix, right? And you can see it from her eyes that she was affected by just Natsuhi saying that Butler is finally coming back. Her first love is finally coming back to her. Is it true that Butler-sama is coming back? And then the little girl from back then, the one that loved the butler, it showed, I guess. She remembered, Butler-san's coming back. He's coming back. He didn't forget his promise after all. He's coming to get me at last. When life is hardest for me, he's going to show up and save me from the hell of my fate. And this time, I'll be Butler-san's wife for good. And then you see the evil one, Beatrice, behind the little kid, Yasu there. I love Butler-san more than anyone else in the world. Please be gone. You were my first love. I parted ways with you. Butler-san isn't coming back for me now. He never even sent me a letter. There's no way he remembers a child's promise like that one. Remember when George was checking the letters from Butler? Yeah, I said back then that maybe George was just hiding a letter there. I mean, of course, it was not said. It was just my theory, I guess, that maybe there was a letter there. And George, being jealous of Butler, did not give a letter from, let's say, Butler to Shannon, right? Maybe he was hiding it, but it was never confirmed. But maybe there was a letter there and George hid it. Who knows? Yes, it was in episode 7. You don't believe a Butler-san even though you love him. The only person on my mind is George-san. But in her heart, yes, you can see the smile there. Her saying, liar, do you still want it? We're crying, aren't we? Dude, look at that. It's so creepy. You awaited Butler's return the longest, and now you rejoice more than any other. What a perfect timing. Will you use him as a backup plan for when George rejects you? Or will you give up and switch to Butler right now? Ah yes, I nearly forgot. No matter who you choose, you are the owner of a ruined body, never to be united with another love. I felt like a spider, foolishly trapped in my own thread, struggling wildly. I was always writhing and twisting, attempting to escape my fate, but every time I got ripped up, leaving me in tears. I cursed my fate. I cursed the world. When inescapable fate finally had me tangled so tightly, I felt fit to suffocate. I realized that I was the one who was creating those threads in the first place. If instead of trying to escape my fate, I had chosen sooner to stand up and actively decide my own life, would it perhaps never have come to this day? Maybe, probably. But I no longer had the strength to struggle against my fate. I hate this. I can't. I just want to be at rest. I don't want to live in this body anymore. So I guess this, her knowing of Butler returning is the breaking point for her. Because she's saying this, right? I just want to be at rest. I don't want to live in this body anymore. If I could only make it so it never had and never happened. Oh, how good that would be. If I could be in a world without troubles, where I could just laugh with the people I love. How good that would be. This is all because of the body I have. I cannot go where I cannot be happy. If only I could be free from this cage of flesh I inhabit, and my soul could be united with everyone else's. So what is this? It is so simple. I am now a Beatrice, the witch of Rokinjima. I can take this island. Ooh, primary munitions and no flames, and return it to the Golden Land. I have the power to do that. All of that. Look at all of the bombs, the missiles there, and then the guns as well. They must have been prepared to blow up the whole island rather than let it be taken. All that's left is to find out if they still work. I'll do it on the day of the family meeting. So this is the second act of Confessions of a Golden Witch. Finished, I mean. Her being conflicted, I guess, of her different feelings for the different characters. And it was really messing her up as well. Or much more, I mean. And the breaking point is when Butler, or when she learned that Butler was coming back. It was, you could say that when we were reading the other episodes, you can say that Butler coming back is one of, I guess, the reasons. But now with reading this, you can say that it is the reason, because she had said earlier that maybe after this I can just remove the canon personality, right, and then the Beato one, and then live as Yasu. Live, I mean leave. But now her learning about Butler, all of her, I guess, feelings for him, it returned as well. It was conflicted, I guess, joy, and then I don't know what the word is. What is a good word for that? But yeah, he has joy because he's coming back, and now conflicted because you add another one of those characters to the feelings she was already having, and it broke her finally. Like, now what? I'll just end it, right? I'll just end everyone so it could be over, and then we'll meet in the Golden Land, and that's it, I guess. Umineko when they cry. Umineko when they cry. Okay, act number 3. Dr. Nanjo Kumasawa-san, as the head of the house, I have a request to make of you. Please do as I bid. During this year's family reunion, I will give you a number of gold ingots. Then Kumasawa-san was like, yes, we would do anything for you, dear. I don't need any gold. Nanjo-san says, for as much as you have suffered in life, we only want for you to be happy. Oh, a pretend murder. Of course we will play along. A pretend one. Genji-san, you are my faithful furniture, aren't you? And you will carry out any order I give you. As the head of the family, I can do whatever I want with the island and the people on it. You can. Even if I told you that I wanted to die along with the rest of the family. And then Genji, of course, shocked. I didn't want to live with this body incapable of knowing love. Then Genji said, even then, it was my fault that you were placed under such incredible pressure in the first place. I, Genji, will serve you to the very end. Thank you. Look at her eyes. Oh, we got these rules now. Rule X, different co-conspirators. Each time all adults are in need of money, buying their cooperation is easy. Any lies that all parties agree upon are depicted as reality. Even better when it pertains to locked rooms. Those who see golden butterflies are either on the culprit's side or dead. Those who haven't been bought off will not see the butterflies until 30 minutes before their death. From that point, I wrote up a murder plot as though possessed. So we're seeing now how she planned to do all of this. She got rules X and Y. What would be the best future? Be what kind of finish would be the most satisfactory? I wrote infinite stories of October 4 and 5 decorated with magic and fantasy. I was used to imaginary roleplay. I wasn't just drawing up a criminal plan. It felt like parallel worlds of the day of the hypothetical crime. So these are the, what do you call this, in the bottles, right? The messages in the bottles, all the different plans that she had. It's nice seeing this, not gonna lie. It felt like my soul was leaving my body and experiencing those worlds as I devised them. Oh, there's a very long page. The act of infinitely killing my relatives began to give me a sense of dark satisfaction. Kinzo Oshiromiya, the source of the chain of misery, the accused blood and all sin. You do not have the right to rest in pristine sleep and die. I suppose it would be your desire to assist Beatrice even after death. I mean, that was the or how we saw him, I mean, right, in the episodes. Yes, he would help her still, or even the planet itself. I mean, they would say that Kinzo was still alive, but in actuality, he was really dead. But yes, this one is true. The source of the chain of misery. Yes, it is you, Kinzo. You were the one. Everyone who inherited the chain of misery from Kinzo ought to die. Kraus, chained by his hatred and violence toward its siblings. Natsuhi, who cast my fate into madness. Ava and Hideyoshi, who resisted my future with George. Rudolph and Kyrie, the reason that Butler-san did not return. Rosa, who abused Maria-sama. Genji and Kumasawa and Nanjo, who were Kinzo's accomplices and indirectly helped this happen. Goda, who attempted to work with Natsuhi for his own selfish greed. All of them. Let all of those Shiromiya name and those who align with them be brought to an end. So what is this? Goda released from previous job at hotel for problems with women. Wait, Goda assaulted women? Damn, I thought he was just an a-hole, right? But he actually had a history like this? Jesus. Fraudulent sales sued by American company for infringement of copyright. Intervention of child welfare services for Maria's custody, for that is for Rosa. Hostile buyout of company stock, and then Kraus embezzling Kinzo's fortune, covering up debt, repeated failure of real estate deals. They have made their sinful livings by preying on others, cheating them out of money. It was only a matter of time before their downfall. Once one family lost their footing, they would inevitably dredge up the others' past crimes, bringing them all down together. Even if they did succeed in getting through the 1986 family meeting, there will be no happy future for them. The family was born from Kinzo's sin and his cursed gold. That is their fate, and the karma will do its work. No flowers can bloom from rooted or rotted roots. So come and die together with me. Then there will be no need for any of us to suffer any longer. So the scenario: sacrificial murders carried out by the witch. Gold ingots and cash cards and pin numbers for bank accounts with liquidated gold. The truth, a planned suicide for the entire family, will make it very easy to manipulate the adults. Kraus and Nazi have many problems. They will be willing pawns. I can hide my identity, let them see the gold, and threaten that I'll reveal their cover-up of Kinzo's death or kill Jessica. But Natsu is stupid and might give it away. She might not make a good accomplice. It would be more enjoyable to keep her in the dark and watch her freak out instead. I guess in episode 1, right? Yes. Ava and Hideyoshi will be easy to buy off too if I use George as bait. Ava's easy to read and both of them are soft on their family and will quickly cut loose anyone outside of their graces. They're almost the perfect pawns for my scheme. If Rudolph and Kyrie can be bribed, I might be able to get them to carry out the murders. Kyrie will be tricky though, she's quite wary. If I can get Rudolph and Kyrie on my side, I need to get rid of them as quickly as possible. I'm not certain Maria's life will convince Rosa to bargain, but the gold will soften her up. I mean, kinda true though, right? Goda's a little rat and easily bribable. He can be made part of the alibi accomplices. Out of all of them, Maria will have a huge value as a pawn because she worships witches. She'll listen to anything I say, and her belief will give her statements veracity. That will help disorient the others around her and make the witch's presence seem more real. And Maria is a valuable accomplice to me. I promise her to take her to the Golden Land. Her eternal sleep must be peaceful and undisturbed by anyone else. Peaceful? I mean, it's kinda, when you look at the episodes where Maria died, right? I mean, I guess compared to the others, how the others died, I guess for Maria it's much more... No, because what episode was that? Was it the second or third episode where Rosa died and then Rosa got stabbed right in the fence, I guess, and then Maria got choked out? I mean, I guess compared to that, yes, it is a much more merciful, I would say. Genji and Nanjo and Kumasawa know that they owe me and will be faithful agents of my cause. As long-time trusted confidants of the family, their allegiance will be huge advantage. Nanjo in particular can declare people dead when they're faking. So yeah, basically all these things that we've been seeing here, or her saying her plans like this, is yeah, for the games, I mean for the episodes, it's I guess Nanjo can sometimes tell that this person is dead, but in reality is not really dead, right? Just faking. So you can say all of them are just accomplices every single time. He can provide any chemicals or poisons the crimes may need. It's a mystery trope for the doctor to be involved in the killing, but there is a great potential value in hewing close to the classics. If I buy off anyone by saying that death will be fake, they will be rattled if they see a real body. But I can claim that it was a high quality pre-prepared mannequin, or say maybe someone else is actually killing people. If it gets too inconvenient, I can also just get rid of them. There are plenty of guns. If I hide some in the particular places all over the mansion, there won't be a need to carry one around at all times. Kinzo's collections of sticks and sawed-off shotguns will allow for some very gruesome disfigurement of the bodies, hiding any bullet holes. Remove the switchboard and the phones won't work. All the powers and the means of communications are under my control. All of it caused by Beatrice, all happening in the palm of my hands as the ruler of the family. Every life on the island lives or dies by my decision. With the magic of gold, I can even control their minds. I will craft worlds with just 16 pawns over and over and over. With this magic, I can craft any number of fragment worlds within the realm of October 4th and the 5th. An infinity possible ifs, an endless fragments created within the cat box of October 4th and 5th. Or perhaps there is an infinite parallel world inside that cat box that I am peering into, like a kaleidoscope. The plan doesn't have to be airtight. Sometimes it's precise, sometimes it's loose. Let it be hit or miss. If I get cornered, I can just kill them because I've abandoned my choice. So no matter the development or the outcome, I will always be satisfied. What will be the next roulette spin turn? Who are my accomplices? Who is a victim? And thus a brand new fragment is told. Which fragment will I examine? Which will I create? This is fabulous. The profundity of my magic. This is the moment that I have actually become a witch. The bird's eye is a dimension that no human can reach. This is my realm. You say that you are a witch. Who is that? That's right, I'm already a witch. But in order to prove that I have transcended the human plane of existence, I will need a being on a higher plane than mine to observe and verify it. If you would happen to be such a thing, please make me a witch. I will just have to convince you. I'm already a witch regardless or whether or not anyone agrees. So is that what is that? I want to guess, but we'll see. We witches are those released, cast adrift from the physical human plane to walk between the fragments, and even beyond us are omniscient, all-powerful creators, gods, free from all restrictions whatsoever. You humans are nothing but twigs and leaves at the whim of the fate that we create for you. And now you are a mere leaf that claim you stand among our numbers. I haven't had any excitement since the one who swore to me she would become a god. I like you. You and your magical system. Despite being a human in form, you sent your mind to our plane and claimed territory for yourself. Your cat box has perfect endless capabilities. Yes. How long will you stave off my boredom, I wonder? Is this a Lambda? Oh, it is a Lambda. Okay. Very well. In the name of Lambda Delta Witch's certainty, I will accept you as a witch. As long as your absolute certain magical worlds remains absolute, I will eternally be your guardian and sponsor. Then I shall write an endless slaughter on October 4th and 5th until I am entirely satisfied with the result. The deadline is midnight on October 5th, the moment that 900 tons of explosives blow up the entire island. Now go ahead and try to stop me. The adults will most likely gather in one place until late into the night of the 4th for their meeting. Killing them will be easy. I can throw the bodies into the storehouse where I'll have already drawn a magic circle. A sort of rifle will blow half the faces without leaving an obvious bullet wound. So this was episode 1. The quickest way would be to put in poison, the wine they toast with, making the first night as ghastly and occult as possible, or making it seem like the impossible crime will draw his interest and get him to try solving it. If I kill off Shannon or Cannon early, that will make moving around so much easier. So this was episode 2. In fact, it might even be fun to boldly appear in the flesh as Beatrice, I guess. I will have both Shannon and Cannon's keys so that it will make it possible to pull off impossible locked room tricks. In fact, I have a locked room idea I'm very proud of. A locked room where the bodies and keys form a loop. Number 1 to 6. Okay. Starting from room number 2, I'll lock each room with a body and then the key to the room before it inside. I'll put the key to room number 6 in room number 1 and I'll leave the door unlocked, and then I'll go into room number 6 and lock it from the inside and play dead. The point is to make the room number 1 the farthest and the most difficult room to find. Number 6 will be easy to spot. In that room, I might make it easy to break through the seal or a window from the outside, for example. So that's how they went inside, right? Rouse and everyone, and then they saw Shannon. The discoverer will easily get into number 6 through the broken window and find the key to number 5, guiding them backward from the actual loop. While that is happening, I can escape through the broken window, go into number 1, lock it from the inside, and play dead again. Nanjo's cooperation will be vital, but it's worth trying out. So what she's saying here is room number 6 gonna be playing as Shannon, playing dead, and then once they move to room number 5, she's gonna move right into room number 1 and then play dead as Canon now. That's how it is. Of course, I could also lock the door, commit this, and thus seal the room. That's a method I've read in some book or another. Tying up the gun with the wire and using the recoil of the shot to knock it behind some furniture to hide the weapon, that kind of thing. So this is, I guess, some other episodes. In the well, was it episode 4, right? And then this one was in Natsuhi's room, if I remember correctly. I could leave a sacrificial stake nearby. Even after I die, this witch's illusion will remain. I could also put a false tag on a key and leave it in the room, then locking it from the outside with a real key would make them think it was a perfect locked room mystery. No one apart from the other servants would be able to tell the difference between the keys. All of these tricks I've come up with, which should I test out? But I don't need to go through all these laborious methods when I have the golden magic spell of matching stories. With my magic, I can pull off any locked room trick, any corpse disappearing trick, any impossible murder, and frame anyone I want. What should be next? Orthodox mystery, ghastly horror? How will my pawns carry out my moves? Shall I carry out the plan myself without accomplices at times, or should I turn nearly all of them into conspirators of a faked murder? Like, what episode was that? Episode 6, right? Was it episode 6? Yeah, all of it, I guess. Most of them. I could test them to see if they are up to my expectations. To consider the following 3 options, you must sacrifice one to gain the other 2. Oh, this was episode 4. Your own life, and then blank. This was given to Butler, right? You will be forever with me when we are nothing but souls. This was George. You will give your lives for my sake, won't you? Yeah, her killing George and then Canon shooting Jessica. Look at that. Like, this was the reality, for example, with what was happening within the episodes. If you remove all the magic stuff, this is what was actually happening there. Yes. Should I be doing this? This is a horrible thing. Should I really kill George? Taking down those I love with me along with their whole families. Is this what I want? Is this going to make anything right? The only thing you can do for me personally, if you're in this situation, is it's easy to say move on, right? Leave the island. That is a fairly simple to say, but it's very hard to do, I guess. But that's it. Yeah, don't tie yourself here anymore. Leave this place and never look back. Of course it won't. I want the people I love to stay alive. And the truth is, if possible, I wish that I could live and be happy. And then we see this again with Beatrice. Is that so? Even at this late hour, you still think that there's a possibility that you can be happy, furniture? So yeah, whenever she's trying to think that it can be better, right? This, Beatrice personality just swoops in and then says all of these hurtful things to her. But of course, I already decided that this was the only possible way. Therefore, I cannot stop myself. Only someone else can. Someone, please stop me. I won't pray for absolute certainty. I want you to solve it, so I won't put too much pressure on you. Winning by killing everyone or losing by having my misery solved are both outcomes I desire. Kinzo claimed that the epitaph would take a miracle. That's it. It was a bet that harbored the magic of miracles. That someone would solve the epitaph and find this room and switch off the bomb so we would survive. I decided to make that bet, and if someone I loved solved the epitaph and inherited the family command from me, then I would submit to that miracle. I would stop the killing and admit to all of my crimes. That way, no matter the outcome, I could accept it and work with it. That must be my punishment. And you'll solve it, won't you? You'll realize that I am the culprit. And you'll stop me, won't you? Yes. She wants Butler deep in her heart. She wants Butler to solve this. Yeah, she wants him to do this. October the 3rd. So this is the day when she started, I guess, throwing the bottles with all her different plans on it into the water. If that can't be true, then let us all be happy in the Golden Land. All of the bottled messages are designed so that if you discover a few rules, you can always determine who the actual culprit is. So each and every bottle message is a confession of my sins, my penitence for my sins, that I cannot go without writing. As a meager apology to those left behind, I have sent you a tiny little golden land of my own, though I know that this alone is not enough to earn your forgiveness. Also, these are the cards and the keys given to, I guess, the family members, right, of some of them, like Kumasawa and then Nanjo, right. Once I have Maria-sama read aloud the invitation she learned by heart to the rest of the family, the night of the slaughter will begin in earnest. Everything that is up the roulette wheel by the time the clock rings on midnight on October 5th, we will be ushered into a world free of all earthly suffering. I am the great witch of Rokinjima, Beatrice. Bring an end to this chain of accursed blood and misery. And if it is allowed, when the seagulls cry, let the miracle of laughing and smiling with the one I love happen to me. The end. So, did I like this? I did not like it. I loved it. I loved it a lot, as this gives us, yes, full insight on Yasu's life. See it from the beginning until her decision to make or to plan what happened in the Rokinjima incident, right? But yeah, it's just very sad though. Because we just start from her being a normal little girl, having hopes, having dreams, loving mystery novels, and then liking a boy, and yeah, having a promise there, marrying him. But as the years go by, said boy does not come back, and her being a teenager, puberty comes, she being or asking herself like, why am I like this? Why am I not the same as the other girls? And then yes, sometimes she would cope. She would have her imaginary friends tell her that, yeah, it's okay, maybe you're just a late bloomer and stuff, but in reality it wasn't like that. So from there, yeah, little by little, she started having all these different problems through her life, right? And then her solving the epitaph, it was supposed to be something, I guess, good for her, but then in reality it was really bad, because it opened a Pandora's box and it revealed all the evils in her life, right? All the things that were connected to her in her history, and it made things really worse, like really, really worse. From finding out that Kinzo was her dad, and then her mom was Kinzo's daughter, so her mom is basically her sister, then her mom, and then the people that she loved, Jessica, George, Butler, nieces, nephew, pretty much suffered a mental breakdown, I guess, right? And then yeah, she has a lot of, I would say she would develop a lot of different complexes in her whole life. Body, gender, identity. That's why I like say furniture all the time. And then you have these different personalities, Shannon, Canon, Beatrice, Yasu herself, I mean. All of it factored into what happens or what her mindset was in the end. And it's it's sad. It's very tragic, right? That it led into her doing a bad thing because of what happened to her life. It could be changed, but it did not happen. Like you can say that, why don't you just leave, right? You have gold, you're rich, you're master Rokujin, but you could leave. Like it's easy to say, but it's very hard to do because yeah, she's pretty much like shackled to this island because of what happened to her. It's sad that everyone died because of it. Yeah, everyone died. Like George, Jessica, Maria, right? Butler. Like for example, like Maria had a sad life, but she had to die. And then Jessica, George, if the same if the thing happened in episode 7 really did happen, they got killed by their aunt and their uncle, and they didn't even know why. And it was just so sad. Her planning that, even though by the end she was kind of like being a little bit conflicted, like is it okay to really do this, right? Like she didn't really kill anyone, but her actions led into everyone dying, basically. Almost everyone, I would say. Ava, Angie was still there, right? But this story is nice because, yes, it gives you full insight on how a character started from just being a normal girl, happy girl, and turning into like that because of what happened to her. Her history, learning all of that, it messed her up, basically. I wish other shows, movies, TV, like games, anything basically, would give us stuff like this all the time because it's so nice to read. You get to know the character much more rather than sometimes they would just give like subtle hints, like what happened to this character. That's why said character did that. But for this one, they gave it everything. They gave the whole thing to us, and it's a very nice read. So, how about you? Did you like it now? Hopefully you loved it, right? So anyways, this is it for Confessions of the Golden Witch, and I guess we are ready for episode 8. So I will just be seeing you there. So for now, goodbye.
ちょちょちょちょ菜の葉に止まれ菜の葉に会いたら桜に止まれ桜の花の花から花へ止まれよ遊べ遊べよ止ま